Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're listening from. For those of you tuning in before and have tuned in again today, welcome back. For anyone listening for the first time, we are glad to have you at the Outside View Live by Women's Cricket Zone. Today, we're going to be covering the third and final T20 between South Africa and Pakistan. Now, a quick sort of summary of the tour so far. Pakistan came over to South Africa to play three one-day internationals, three T20Is. After five matches, Pakistan have won five tosses and South Africa have won five games. Now, this statistic is overused. I'm personally sick of it. I don't want to say it again. I want it to be broken. I want it to be changed. For this chat, as usual, I'm joined by familiar faces. We have Ananya, Sawera, and Claire. Our experts are back. They've sort of helped us break down all the moments on the cricketing field. They've observed everything going on. Now, this is the last T20. It means this is the last pre-match that we have for a while. So I want to start off with something a little bit different. I've had the pleasure of hosting all of you multiple times now. So I'm going to take advantage of this power and I'm going to put all of you on the spot immediately. So I'm a genie and I can grant one wish that all three of you want. So out of this match, it can be the result of the match. It can be a player doing well, someone not falling for a trap, one thing that each of you want to see happen well in this game, maybe someone new in the lineup. I'm going to leave that up to you, but I can tell you hypothetically, of course, I can grant your wish today. Savera, I'll start with you. Welcome back. And what would be your wish that I can grant?
Radha, first of all, thank you. And if I let me rub the genie out first. So yeah, the genie is out, and obviously, what I want Pakistan to go all out today and win it. It's like totally win it. Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. Crystal clear. I've got your wish and I've written it down. It's in sort of process of being granted. Claire, what
So
about you?
what's the penalty if it does not come true?
Oh, I'm also going to be very disappointed if it doesn't come through. So I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure it happens. Claire, obviously, your team has won five out of five, and it's been sort of improvement all along. So what would your wish be from today?
So my wish is actually not for South Africa. Actually, it's more for Pakistan. And I'd like to see Arub Shah play today. That would be my genie's wish. So if you could please deliver that to me, I would be very, very happy. I'm really eager to see her, and I really want to, would like the audience also just to get exposed to what she has, because I do think she's a bright prospect for Pakistan.
Perfect. I've noted that down and I'm very happy because you've taken Ananya's wish. So Ananya has to come up with a new wish. What's your wish going to be?
Oh God, I was like, my wish was Arun Shah, so now I have to think of a new one. I don't know. I mean, I would like Mignon Dupree to do well. That's like a standard wish, but I'm just worried that South Africa are gonna jinx me and like not play her today. So I'm not gonna put my bets there. I'm just gonna say I would like Aisha Naseem to score a 50 today. That would be something to watch.
Awesome. So we have three wishes backing Pakistan. I love that because we really need something to come out of them and something to click within that 11. But now let's move directly into the game. Claire, I'll start with you. You've spoken about South Africa and how they've been opportunity changes and not performance changes. And now that the series is sort of won and in the bag, do you see potential heavy rotation coming into the lineup today?
I do. I've actually spent quite a lot of time trying to sort of unpack the team and then put it back together. I felt like a bit of a mechanic trying to work out what would work and what would not. And clearly there's a reason I'm not a mechanic. I had too many like parts moving and shuffling around. So I think it's quite a difficult one. I think there will be lots of changes. So I definitely see them making quite a few changes. I would like to see a change on the top of the order. I have sort of alluded to it a couple of times. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be nice to maybe see Lee sitting out. That would then absolutely sort of open it up for Volfar to come up the innings, and then we would have a gap sort of further down. Annika Bosch, I think, might have a run today, similar to what they did in the third ODI. I would potentially like them to see, and I know I'm going to hate myself for saying this, but for them to rest Shibnam Ismail. I think she's done really, really well throughout the series. She's, she played in the three ODIs. She then has played the two T20s. She did remarkably sort of on Sunday. So I know it sounds a little bit silly, but again, it's not performance changes. It really is opportunity changes. We also saw her holding her hand, so she might have got like quite a nasty knock on the hand. And you know, those things they need some time to rest and just to sort of settle down a little bit. And we saw them announcing that the tour with South Africa and India for the ladies. So that is incredibly exciting. So you really, I'm sure you're very excited, Ananya. So you kind of want sort of, you know, the ladies to rest, recuperate if there are any niggles, and then be able to kick on. I think maybe we might see Tumi Sekukune come back into the side. That would be quite nice. And if Ishmael is not playing, then that would be a great opportunity for her to come in. I want Shangasi to play again. I would love her to have another run. Class, yes. Kaka, yes. So just a couple of shuffles around, and then hopefully like a Bosch in Tumi to come in would be quite nice, just to see some changes.
And you're talking about the bowling lineup. We're getting news from the middle that South Africa have won the toss. So Sune has successfully chosen the right side of the coin. They've opted to bowl, which means we're going to see Pakistan batting very soon. Sawera, moving on to you and the batting. Obviously, we know that that's where Pakistan is lacking. And that's where really, if the batting does well, we'll see the team click. I can feel that happening. Just your thoughts on the intent. Again, we discuss this every time. Hopefully talking about it will make it happen this time. But just the intent that they have to come out with. Now South Africa said, the ball's in your court. Score as many runs as you can.
Exactly. I think the same, Radha, because now they're batting first. So I believe Pakistan need to hit the pedal today. They should go all out and try to win this, and this one at least, and avoid whitewash across all formats. Pakistan women, they just need to back themselves and inspire themselves to come out from that mental block. I think it's not just the performance that they are lacking now, it's the mental block that they are going through. So 6 matches down and onto this tour, it was believed Pakistan could have sorted their right combination, but injuries hampered Pakistan chances. So now that we are batting first, so I believe if Javeria comes back, she could bring that much needed balance that Team Pakistan needed.
And we have, Ananya, I need your help to understand this. We have confidence and form, and these two things is something that we want in every player. And I'm sort of noticing that, this downward spiral of lack in confidence and then lack in form is something that Pakistan's not able to get out of now. So as a player, how does one just pick themselves up and pick the team up and say that, we have to go out there and do this now?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, and it's a question that players always ask themselves, like, how can I turn this around? But I think one of the key things is, to look at the little wins, to look at what you're doing right, and sometimes you're working on something, and it doesn't fall into place. It takes a long time for that improvement to come in. But I think it's really important that Pakistan look at the little wins, what they are doing right, what they are doing well. Try and pull as much confidence as they can from those little things, and it automatically translates into other parts of your game. And I think Claire mentioned this a lot in the previous games. It's fake it till you make it, and sometimes you kind of just have to push yourself to show positive body language, to kind of push your mind to think positive thoughts. I think if you're able to control your thoughts and focus on one thing at a time, one small thing at a time, it kind of helps you turn things around. Of course, it's a lot easier to talk about it than to actually do it, because your mind is racing in 100 different directions. But I suppose the only thing that you can control as a player is what you're doing out there in the middle. And if you have to, if it's just as a batter focusing on one ball at a time, or focusing on your footwork, or doing the little things right, it kind of adds up. So hopefully Pakistan they've done a lot of things right on this tour, and they need to remember that they have done that. It's just that when things have gone wrong, they've gone completely wrong for them. So it's just about, I suppose, focusing on the things that they've done right and trying to pull that confidence into areas of their game that they haven't.
Now, I have to mention that if Pakistan were hoping to have some respite from Shabnam Ismail and Marsan Cap, that's not the case today, because they both are very much still in the 11. We have 4 changes for South Africa's 11. Volbart, Lee, so we have 2 batters, and Brits, in fact, so 3 batters, and then Kaka, they miss out, and we have Lara Goodall, Sekukune, Tony Cliff, and Annika Bosch who come in. Claire, you had some differing thoughts on who's going to be rotated. So what is your thought on the 11 now?
Yeah, so really interesting. I mean, I like the changes. Obviously, Sekakune, I'm really happy that she's in. I spoke about her earlier. Bosch is in, great. So interesting. If we go back to the third ODI, a lot of the changes in that was all around the bowlers. We've now gone to the third T20. You can see Hilton's thinking. And really, I've said this a couple of times. He is a thinking coach, and I really just like what he's trying to do with the squad and the kind of opportunities he's trying to create for the girls. So you can clearly see now a lot of batting changes, lots and lots and lots of batting changes, and probably it is one of sort of, you would think it's one of South Africa's strengths. But in the series, I would almost say the batting at times has been the wobbling point, and the bowling has sort of come through and shown its strength. So I think it's a great thing that he's sort of changing up the batting lineup. So it's going to be very, very interesting. You don't have Lee, you don't have Britt, so there are no two openers. The third opener would be Volfart. You don't have Volfart. So they definitely probably would go with sort of a Tunnicliffe opening with Bosch potentially. That could be the combination. You might even have someone like Cup coming in to open the batting if they wanted to really be funny and throw things around. I'm glad to see Shangasi's back in the lineup. We must just do a little shout out to Masabata Clark, whose birthday today. So I'm glad she's having a run on her birthday. So that's really nice. But I'd like to, Shangasi, I would like to see come up slightly higher in the batting order. She's not known in international cricket for her batting, but she does have a provincial 100 behind her name. And so she's not silly when it comes to batting. So it would be good to sort of push her up, give her a little bit of responsibility, sort of see what she could do at this level of cricket. But I think it's going to be really, really interesting. The other thing I would say maybe is to give Sunay less a chance higher up in the order. We've seen her in the T20s being sort of pushed down to that sort of number 6 position, coming in after Mignon du Preez. And so just to give her a little opportunity, a little bit of sort of time in the middle, as we like to call it, and just see what she could do, sort of, getting a good couple of balls under her belt.
And Ananya, I know you wake up every day hoping that Mignon du Preez has a good day in whatever she's doing. Thankfully, she is in the 11 today, so your first wish might still come true. But, no Nadine de Klerk, and she's a player that you really enjoy watching. So what are your thoughts on her missing out, I think, all 3 T20s now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually kind of surprised that she hasn't made the 11. I think she's proved through her short career that she is a really useful T20 player. I think she's very good with the ball. She bowls like very smart change-ups and is pretty good at the death as well. And she's also able to hit a long ball. So I think she's kind of your ideal T20 player. And that's why she got a WBBL contract as well. But so I'm surprised, but I think, if you look at that bowling attack, and I mean, where do you fit her in? I think that's the question that South Africa are constantly asking themselves, in a lineup like this, how do you fit Nadine de Klerk in? And it's the same question Pakistan are asking about Arup Shah. So yeah, I think both teams are having this issue right now.
So just on that very quickly, is there something that Nadine de Klerk needs to change, maybe sharpen up her batting or her bowling? Because she seems to be like somewhere in the middle and you can't really replace her with anyone in the 11. So what's the solution to that?
I think Claire will be able to answer this a little better, but whatever little I've seen of her, I think, she's a little like Marazan Kaur, but I mean, obviously not that skill level with the ball, but I think because she's able to do both pretty well. I saw her for South Africa emerging playing against Bangladesh, and I thought she batted beautifully in those games. She hit a really long ball. She was able to accelerate towards the end, and I mean, I think she plays, I suppose, within the South African lineup, something like Chloe Tryon. I think that's the kind of role that she'd ideally fit into. But with this lineup that they have, having dropped so many senior batters, I think they didn't want to go with what Sanjay Manjrekar would call a bits and pieces player. They wanted to go with a specialist. So, I mean, I'm not really sure. I think Claire will be able to give us a better idea about that.
Yeah, all I would add to it is, and we see it every now and again. So let me just sort of sum it up. Her batting for me is probably her strength. She's a really, really good batter, and you always know that she's going to walk to the middle of the crease and get you a good batch of runs at a decent strike rate. I think at the time, if you're sort of trying to compare her to like a Marizon Cup, who she would be likened to, like unfortunately, like she doesn't have a choice. She's always going to be sort of compared to Marizon Cup. Her bowling just needs a little bit more accuracy. At times, I feel she drops the ball too short, and then also down the leg side. Her discipline in terms of her, probably more her line. So she normally can get her length right. It's probably more the line that tends to go, and then she kind of nips it down the leg side too much. The other thing I'd like, especially at this sort of T20, is to get in that change-up ball. I don't believe she sort of bowls enough slower balls at the right moments in time. She can bowl it, but it's almost like her confidence to bowl it sometimes is stuttering. So she will sort of go to it at the last resort instead of going, no, actually, now I need to bowl. It's almost like I have to bowl the slower ball, and then she bowls it, instead of sort of having a confidence within herself to say, no, I can actually bowl the slower ball now if I need to. So, look, I mean, I don't think she's sort of left out again on performance. It's simple. It's where do you slot her in? She's an incredibly talented bat. And I would almost say she's cemented herself within the core squad. So like if you want to have a look at sort of the top 14 players, she's in that sort of top squad of 14 players. Whereas I think the others, some of them just sort of need a run and sort of need to have a look in at this level of play.
Okay, that's a good sign for her that she cemented a place in the squad. I think that's first, and then after that you make it to the 11. And with Hilton, we've seen he's going to give chances, so her opportunity is going to come, soon enough. Sawera, talking to you about Javeria's back in the Pakistan lineup, captain Javeria and batter Javeria. That must be really crucial for the team.
Exactly, and I'm happy that I can see Javeria back in the team, and maybe this would bring some balance in the batting, because bowling has been average. I believe bowling, not even average, it was above average. Pakistan really bowled well, but the batting was something that was disappointing us on, and it just fired way too late. So now I believe that when Javeria is there, I believe that because Umema Sohail has dropped, so Javeria would be opening the inning apparently. So I believe we'll have a good start. And if we get a good start, then I don't think that we need to just move Aisha Naseem's number up. Then it's fine where she's batting right now. But God forbid again, if we don't get a good start, then I believe Aisha Naseem should bat at 4. And Claire, your wish is not fulfilled again. Urup Shah is not playing. And what I've got from the camp, the news from camp, was that Urup could not just impress David in the net. She wasn't bowling that way. The way she bowls here in these conditions in Pakistan, she wasn't bowling that way in South Africa.
Okay, so because of net and practice performance, we've seen Urup Shah miss out. Ananya, I'm going to ask you another question about Pakistan. You've been following the team for a while, so I want to understand now. They don't seem to be getting an 11 that clicks. It's been 5 matches and a 6th one. Hopefully we don't see that happen. But is this something that generally happens with them during their series? Or is it because no captain, no stand-in captain, new head coach, like new conditions, a big break between their matches? Is that all just playing into this?
I think it's a combination of all those factors. I mean, you look at Pakistan right now, and I think Sawera mentioned this in one of the earlier games as well, that, they're kind of in this rebuilding phase where a lot of different things are coming together. They're trying to put different pieces of the puzzle together. And, when I look at the squad itself, there are names that, we've seen for quite a long time. I mean, they probably haven't, they don't have a lot of matches under their belt, but we've seen these names in and around the domestic circuit and in international cricket for quite a long time. So I think when you have a new head coach coming in, there's always a different direction that they want to take the team. They're looking for, I suppose, it's all about what direction they want to take the team, how they want to get the best out of different players, what roles they see each player performing for that team. And I think it is the first time David Hemp is with this side. He's still familiarizing himself with the players and the way they go about things. And I think what happens a lot with subcontinent squads, especially, is the fact that when you have someone from the outside who's not in the subcontinent coming in, it's a culture shock. first of all. And there are a lot of things that you have to get used to. I mean, when you look at Pakistan, they've played cricket in a certain way for a really long time. And, David Hemp will want to change that, because Pakistan really have to lift the way, especially they bat, if they want to challenge the other teams, whether it's, their intent, we've talked about it a lot, but their intent and things like that. So it's just, I think for them to get used to David Hemp's style, for him to get used to them. Also, they aren't a professional outfit. The players don't make a living off playing cricket. They do other things. It's just now that they're kind of getting contracts. There are emerging contracts. So a lot of things are coming together. I think, hopefully in the next couple of years, we see the same group of players stuck with, and but there is improvement, maybe not to the level of Australia, but we see them kind of competing with the South Africas, with the New Zealands on a more regular basis, and probably doing a lot better, because Pakistan don't play as much cricket outside the ICC ODI Championship, and that's one of the biggest things. They play those 5 or 7 series, but outside that, they don't play as much cricket, and this is one of those series where they're getting to improve against a high quality side.
Rather, something
Yeah.
I want to add, and if you talk about the squad, there are 6 girls who haven't toured to South Africa. They don't know anything about South Africa. Aisha Naseem, Aisha Zafar, Diana Beg has never toured to South Africa, and that was a shocker for me when I get to know about that. Muniba Ali, Sadia Iqbal, and Urupsha did not play in the 11, but these 3 girls are a part of the 11 continuously, and they have never been to South Africa. So it's kind of a challenge for David as well, because he need to set the combination and then make the team win as well. So it's pretty tough with the injuries around as well.
Okay, so it seems like this is just the foundation. We've got them in like their nascent stage of rebuilding. So hopefully we see it only go upwards from here. Claire, talking about the batting, obviously they have this chance to come out and set the score. You mentioned in the second T20I that positive intent from them would have been if they won the toss and chose to bat, which didn't happen. In this case, they've gotten to bat in any case. What is the intent that they have to come out with? And again, what's the mindset that they have to most importantly carry till the 20th over and not let fade away like after 10 or 12?
Well, I think firstly, Sunay Liss is very happy that she's not going to be dropped from the side for losing a 6th toss. So at least she's finally got it right. I'm not quite sure what she's been doing over the last few days to get that correct, but at least South Africa finally could choose what they wanted to do. I think it's quite simple. Pakistan again have to show like almost that physical dominance. I've mentioned body language. I've mentioned faking it till you make it. I've used sort of words like that sort of so far the whole series, and they really, really need to follow through with it. I think the good news is, Javeria Khan is playing. My opinion would be put her in and open the batting. I really liked what she did in the third. I think it was the 3rd ODI when she opened the batting. She looked very confident. As a captain, you really are going, I'm leading from the front. And that is going to be very important. She can sort of stamp her authority on this match and kind of really take the fight to the South Africans. So I think that's going to be really, really important. You asked the question of the genie, and I had 2. The one was Arub Shah. The second one, which I will now say what it was that Ayesha Zafar does not go out to Ismail setting her up again. So let's hope that Zafar has spent a lot of time looking at the clips and just trying to be able to apply those lessons. Because I think what would be really exciting for me, just sort of looking at the team technically and like analyzing them as players, would be to see if there was an improvement there. Because I do kind of like what I see from her technically. I think she has to do a little bit of work on her mental concentration, on her physical ability. I think is lacking at times. I totally agree. She doesn't look like she's always in the best form. But technically as a batter, there's some promising sort of skills to work with. So it'll be good to see if she can make those changes and apply those changes and be able to sort of, have a really, really good sort of effect up on top of the order. And then I think it would be really, really nice if we can see that youngster come up and bat at number 3. I think if Naseem can come in there and just show her talent at number 3, maybe number 3 is a bit much now. Like, I'd even be happy if it's at number 4. And then we have Nida Dar and we have Aliyah Riaz right up there. I think, that would get sort of the Pakistan batting order off to a really good start.
Claire, I'm going to throw a couple of numbers at you. When you mentioned Javeria Khan, you want her to open. She has 4 ducks in T20s. 2 of them are against South Africa, and both of them she's been dismissed by Shabnam Ismail. She averages around 14 or something against South Africa. So now, do you still want her to open the batting?
When you give me stats like that, I'm going to shake my head and say no. But what I still am going to say is I think it would still be a positive move from her as a captain. To really try and lead the Pakistan batting lineup, and let's call it for what it is. The Pakistan batting lineup has been absolutely dismal, and they have let themselves down every single game in the ODIs and in the T20s. The bowlers have really done their job, and they have got themselves back into the game, or restricted South Africa, or made South Africa really think about what they're doing at the end part of their sort of batting innings. So for me, the bowlers really have been the success. It's the batters that need to work. As I said, I can't disagree with those stats. I've never been a very big stat person, but they do sort of give us some insights. But I just think it would be a positive move from Pakistan if they put her up the order and sort of just, I liked how she looked in that 3rd ODI. I mean, I think she scored 33. She wasn't too slow out the blocks. And she showed positive intent. She really did show positive intent at the crease. So I'm going for her to open the batting, and hopefully she proves the statisticians wrong this time.
And I just visualize like Sune taking half an hour off the net session and practicing coin tosses in the hotel room. Hopefully the batters of Pakistan have also done the same and just working on something where they're lacking. We got the Pakistan lineup in. There's been one change. Javeria Khan has come in. Umaima Sohail has been rested, or she's been benched. Sawera, your thoughts? It looks like a pretty solid, strong Pakistan lineup ready to go.
It does, and I just hope all these stats go wrong today. And the way Ananya mentioned the stats of Javeria, I just hope that Javeria plays well, because we have been waiting for her for so long. Like for the first T20, okay, she'll be playing the second T20, then we couldn't see her. So now she's here to make mark and her team at least finish at a positive note.
Yeah, that'll just be wonderful to see. And on that note, we'll just take a quick round of score predictions before we all head over to watch the first innings. And then I'll start with you. Both teams are pretty strong. Pakistan's going out to bat first. What are your thoughts?
I mean, with Javeria Khan, it feels like there's a bit more solidity. But I'm still gonna say they're probably gonna struggle to get 127.
Any thoughts? Any thoughts behind that specific number?
It's just a random, I don't want to say 125, I don't want to say 130, so I'm just going for 127. It just feels like that kind of a day.
Perfect. Go with your gut. Claire, your thoughts on the Pakistan score?
Well, now I better not say 125 or 130. So look, I'm going to go with 133. I have a positive feeling about Pakistan today. I really feel that they know they have to do well. That it's almost like it's almost a suicide mission if they don't perform well here. So like 133 plus for them, I think that's what they're really going to want to sort of go for. And then they're going to now then put the sort of pressure on South Africa. So I think 133, let's see how they go.
So are you saying 133 because you don't want to say 130?
No, because I don't want to say 140.
Well, 127, 133, 130 sounds like a safe place, but Sawera, I want you to like go all out like Pakistan hopefully will, and give us a prediction that you think is going to happen today.
Okay, so no round figures, so 148 for me.
148, love that.
Yeah.
Okay, That's brilliant. So we've got the score predictions from our experts. Just a quick update that Tasman Brits has actually left the bubble due to family reasons, and that's the reason she's not playing today. We wish her and her family the safest of health and everything. Other than that, the match has probably started. So everyone tuning in, thank you for watching this. As usual, we'll catch you in the mid-inning segment. Enjoy watching the first innings, and we'll see you in a bit.